today we're glad to be talking with Meagan Tandy from the new upcoming show, Jane by Design. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Very good. So you have to fill us in a little bit about Jane by Design. What can we expect?
Jane by Design is going to be just absolutely exciting because it's different from other shows in that there's two different things going on. You've got the entire high school scene going on, and then you also have fashion as well. And it's really cool because Jane's character, which is played by Erica Dasher, you basically are following her as she tries to deal with, and try to balance both of these lifestyles. But of course, there's a few bumps in the road, and then there's me. I get to play the lovely character of Lulu, and I get to be Jane's nemesis at the high school stuff. So it's going to be fun.
So you have to tell us, what was the audition process like for the show?
Let's see. Okay, it was about a year ago, and I just remember it was in November, actually, and there were so many different pilots that were, coming across my agent's table, and they had seen that, ABC Family was going to be casting for this new show called, at that time, it was What Would Jane Do? And it was going to be very fashion-forward, and they were basically just looking for someone to play the villain in the high school part of the show, and my agents just thought, well, hey, why not try Meagan out, that would be fun. And so they told me about it, and I was really excited about it. I went in, and I felt so good about the audition. Like, I remember running out of that building just so excited. I called my mom. I was like, I had the best audition ever, of my life. It was awesome. And then I found out just maybe 2 days later that they wanted me to go to the callback, and so I was just, excited about that. I went to the callback. Totally kicked butt in the callback. It felt great. And then they told me that they wanted me to come in and test for it. So it was just fun because, I've never had this experience before and seeing the process, and it's just great. I'm having so much fun with it.
Well, we're excited you're on the show now.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I can't wait for you guys to see.
Absolutely. I know they keep showing us these previews on TV, and it's like, come on, January, roll around already so we can see it.
I know. It's been crazy. I think, let me see here, it's 2011. We shot the pilot in 2010. In fact, you know what? It'll be a year from this Saturday that we wrapped the pilot. We wrapped the pilot on December 3rd, 2010. And so for us, it's like, oh my goodness, let's finally get this thing on air. So we've kind of just been sitting around waiting. But when January 3rd comes, I'm sure we're all just going to be, not only relieved, but just, so happy because it's about time,
Mm-hmm. So you have to tell us, how do you like working with the cast, and what did they like for you on the set?
I absolutely love working with this cast because the one thing that we all have in common is that we're all pretty much just a bunch of newbies, and I think that's just so wonderful that ABC Family is giving us this chance to even, kind of come out there and be on a series. So it's funny because we're all kind of going through this together. Everything's new to us. We don't really know what to expect. And so we all kind of get to, have that in common. And it's always fun on set. We're always laughing because, of course the material is hilarious. And although there are, dramatic pieces, on the episodes, it can also be very, very funny. And so we're always, cracking jokes and just having fun. It's always been a pleasure working with April Blair, who's our creator of the show, as well as Gavin Sloan. Honestly, it's always just been fun on set. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Glad to hear. And like you said, since the show is all about fashion, do you have any fashion tips for our viewers out there, or something do and don't?
Fashion tips. Well, one thing that I've definitely just kind of picked up on, even for myself, is when you're wearing really tight dresses, or just just a dress that's not very it's just not flowing. It's just very, skin tight. It's always best to wear Spanx. Even if you feel that your body's in shape and that, there's no overhang or anything, it's just always good to wear Spanx because it just gives you a nice smooth line, and it actually makes the dress just fit so much better. So I would definitely probably save that. And then of course, I feel like I'm kind of flat-footed because my feet always hurt whenever I'm wearing heels. So I would probably just tell people to just make sure that you're wearing some sort of foot soles or some sort of a cushion underneath your foot. That way you can get through wearing the 5-inch heels pain-free, and no one has to know that you're actually hurting. But those are probably only my two things.
Yeah, that's great advice. And how about, do you have like a must-have accessory?
Must-have accessory. You know what? Probably just rings. Like, it's so funny. My friends have been making fun of me because lately I've been wearing, like, I only have 10 fingers. So sometimes I'll bust out, 8 rings, or maybe I'll wear a ring on every finger. I mean, I guess it can look kind of weird, but lately that's kind of been my thing. I just have, like, I just have to have rings on for some reason. I mean, maybe down the line, I'll start lessening it, and it'll be like, 2 or 3 rings, but I don't know, I just always have to have a ring, and now because of the winter time, I love to bust out a scarf.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely, and definitely, like, for the accessories, it usually makes the outfit, it accentuates it a lot more, too, which is great.
Yeah, no, I'm actually, like, really starting to, like, notice that now, because I used to, literally, not being funny, but I pretty much have been, like, such a plain Jane, like, in my opinion, like, my whole life. Like, when it comes to fashion, like, fashion for me is wearing jeans and, some flip-flops and a T-shirt. And so now that I'm actually, like, really starting to get into styling things, when I just add, like, a little bit of jewelry or a cute little purse or a scarf, like, it really makes it pop. But now it's like you almost have to have those things when you walk out the door.
Absolutely. And what type of style would you say you have?
Now I would probably say I'm kind of going, I guess, a little bit more chic, whereas before I would say it was just really, really toned down. Like I said, I actually don't like wearing skirts and dresses, which is why I laugh at my character so much, because Lulu is always wearing a pleated skirt. Like, that's all she wears, a mini skirt. And I just love wearing jeans. So, I love blazers. So I would probably just say very laid back but chic. That's kind of my thing right now.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. And then also we're going to move on for your upcoming movies coming up. Can you tell us about Piranha 3DD?
Yes, it's so funny. I'm going to be coming out in this. Actually, this will be the sequel, because the very first movie of this franchise did so well. It did like $85 million, and it's so funny. I didn't see it at the time when it actually came out, but I'd heard so much about it. And then when the audition was coming through, I was like, it's about time I'd probably go and see this movie. And I rented it, and it was hilarious, which is the funny thing about it, because it's supposed to be a horror flick, but it's got a lot of comedy in it. And I actually got to do my very first stunt in this film, and I actually cut the bottom of my foot doing a stunt. So I will forever remember my experience filming this movie.
Wow, my goodness. And you actually got to work with some pretty talented people in there as well. Gary Busey, Christopher Lloyd, David Hasselhoff, just to start off with.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I was so excited because I am, like, a major Apprentice fan.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, when I was auditioning, The Apprentice was currently airing, and literally I do not miss an episode. And obviously Gary Busey was on there. And then I found out that he was going to be in the movie. And when we were shooting, I don't have any scenes with him, but I was actually on set, because it was in North Carolina in Wilmington, and we were there for about a good month or so. And so I actually got to meet with him and chat with him, and he's absolutely hilarious. He's really, really funny. But it was just so cool to get to work with him. It was awesome.
Wow, my gosh, I would love to meet Gary Busey. Like you said, I'm also an Apprentice fan, very much so.
I love that show.
Yeah, was he like he is on the show?
You know what? A little bit. It's kind of funny because one would wonder, is he doing that, just to get people to laugh, or is this really the true Gary Busey? And you know what? I actually, after like really chatting with him and kind of getting to know him, that is totally Gary Busey, what you see on The Apprentice. That is totally that guy. So there's no acting. That's him.
Wow, but you know what we kind of learned from watching the show? He's very knowledgeable, and he says things, but he knows what he's talking about. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
He does, so.
Yeah, that's why people underestimate him so much, because he gives off, this kind of persona that's like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just here. Like, he acts like he has no clue.
Right.
But you're right. When he speaks, it's like, okay, this guy is on point, and he knows exactly what he's talking about. Like, it's weird. He's very, very smart.
Exactly. Well, we're looking forward to that movie to come out. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous, only because it's my first horror flick, and like I said, it's my first time doing a stunt, so I'm just like, oh, I wonder what people are going to think, but it'll be fun.
Right, and I think it's going to do very well. Like you said, the first one did, so this one should as well.
Yeah, it should be doing really, really well. It was actually supposed to come out this past weekend, but they are just, I guess, fixing some things, changing some things, adding some things, so it's supposed to be coming out in 2012 now.
Uh-huh. And you've also done, you've acted on shows like Zeke and Luther and 90210 and 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How'd you like working on those?
Zeke and Luther, it's so funny. It actually just aired, well, it just re-aired last week, and then it just aired for the very first time maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I actually haven't had a chance to see it yet. But it was so much fun being on that show. Like, everyone on there, the energy was just very, very, like, fun, kind of silly, and, obviously it's a comedy show, so it was just hilarious being on that set. And I loved being on 10 Things I Hate About You. That one was so much fun. It was really a pleasure to play Aaron because, it's just so opposite of who I am. Like, my character was just like this crazy, model who kind of like tries to, I guess, sleep around to, make her way to the top, and it's just like, this is so crazy. Like, I always just find it very interesting to play these roles that are just not me whatsoever. And then, of course, 90210 was so much fun. I mean, that show is absolutely amazing, and I remember watching the one back in the day. It's so funny. It was only just, 10 years ago, and I'm calling it back in the day. But 90210 was just so much fun. So I've just been having a great time with all of this, and I just can't wait to do more.
Oh, absolutely. It seems like you got to be on some pretty nice shows there. All of those are good.
Yeah, it's been great. So I'm just kind of crossing my fingers and it just keeps going, because this has always been my dream. Ever since I was 7, 6 years old, I've always wanted to be an actress, and so I'm just kind of I just got to keep going,
Absolutely. And speaking of your dream, do you have a dream role you'd really like to see yourself tackle?
Well, I guess it's probably the typical thing that everybody wants to do, but I would just love to play some sort of superwoman, and I don't mean the one that dresses up. I'm talking someone like Angelina Jolie's character in Salt or Zoe Saldana's character in Colombiana, just totally being that really cool CIA agent that's just trying to save the world. She's, tackling all these missions, and that would really be my dream thing to do. So kind of keeping my fingers crossed for a role like that.
Very interesting. Yeah, that would be very neat. That's cool.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I would absolutely love to do that. So we'll see.
Yes, and then we were going to ask you what type of TV shows and movies do you like watching? Like you told us you like The Apprentice. So do you like reality shows?
Oh, yes, I do like reality shows. In fact, right now, aside from The Apprentice, I absolutely love The Amazing Race. That's definitely a show that my mom and I, we just do not miss. That's just one of my favorites right now. I also enjoy watching America's Next Top Model. I've actually met so many of the girls who have been on past cycles, and some of the girls that actually have won America's Next Top Model are actually my friends now. So it's kind of just a natural thing that I watch the show, and it's just fun. It's always fun to watch that one, and especially since I'm not currently doing modeling anymore, so I kind of just get to experience modeling, through the television by watching them. And of course, American Idol. American Idol's always fun. And I'm actually, aside from reality TV, I'm starting to get into New Girl. That's a really good show. And then Once Upon a Time, one of my friends just got cast as Cinderella. So it's just fun. I'm kind of all over the place watching everything.
Wow, yeah, all good shows. We haven't seen Once Upon a Time yet. We'd like to see that.
Yeah, that's really good. And then, that's right. And then, of course, I know it's so funny that I'm saying this, but I really actually do watch The Lying Game. I really do watch Pretty Little Liars. And you know what I absolutely love is Switched at Birth. That's actually a really, really good show. I just love sign language. I used to practice it. I can't do it anymore because I didn't keep up with it, but I love Switched at Birth.
Wow. And since you guys are both on the same network, maybe you can guest star on there one time.
I know that, honestly, that would be so much fun. Like, I think about it all the time. I'm like, that would be so awesome if they brought me on there for like a second, but I don't know how that works. So
Yeah, that would be neat. And
yeah, that'd be so cool.
you have to tell us now about your Twitter, which is at Meagan Tandy. How do you like using Twitter?
You know, I'm actually liking it a lot. I used to not really tweet a whole lot, but now I'm definitely getting more into it. And it's funny, like, my friends tease me all the time because they don't think that I tweet enough. Like, I usually just like to tweet about, events that I'm going to, or obviously, talking about the show. But my friends, like, they just tweet all day, every day, like, and they tweet everything. And I don't know, I can't get into it like that. But for the few little tweets that I send, they're always informative. They're always fun and exciting because it's about something that I'm doing or about something that's coming out. And for those reasons, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, we like your Jane by Design updates. We love those.
Yeah, no, it's been really fun, and it's so fun to read the Jane by Design tweets because it's good for me to just kind of keep up with what's going on, and then I can see how many people are just excited about it. Sometimes I'll retweet what people are saying about it, so it's fun.
Absolutely, and we say to a lot of our interviewees, what was life like before Twitter? Because I wouldn't know what you were talking about or even about Jane by Design. So it's kind of weird what society has turned into with this new generation of Twitter, which is interesting.
I know. Just with that and social network, like, in general, it's just kind of crazy. Like, I always call myself more of like a Facebooker, but now I'm kind of definitely going into the Twitter world only because it's just more like, at the moment what's going on now currently, and it's just crazy. It's like, what would we have without Twitter?
Right, absolutely. And now we're going to actually ask you a couple of get-to-know-you questions. So
okay.
The first question is, tell us your celebrity crush.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I have to say there are a few, but if I had to, like, pinpoint one right now, it would definitely have to be Ryan Gosling. OMG. I saw Crazy Stupid Love, and that man's never looked hotter. I was just, he is so amazing. And then I just saw Drive a few weeks ago, which, I mean, he played a completely different role, but oh my gosh, that man was very, very sexy. So, Ryan Gosling.
Good choice there. Ryan,
yeah, he's amazing.
Ryan Gosling, hint, hint, would you like to be on Jane by Design and be your love interest, right?
Oh, yes, please. Yes, tell him. That would be awesome.
That would be very nice.
Yes.
And secondly, we're going to ask you, how about your favorite fast food restaurant?
Favorite fast food? Okay, does Baskin-Robbins count as fast food, or is that more of a dessert?
It could be a dessert, more so of a dessert, I guess.
Okay, well then dessert, Baskin-Robbins. Then if I had to not go with Baskin-Robbins, I'm kind of a big Taco Beller. I love Taco Bell. I always get the steak taquitos with sour cream. Oh, Christina, it's so amazing.
Delicious, delicious. And also, Are you a Chick-fil-A fan?
Chick-fil-A. You know what? I actually just tried Chick-fil-A a few months ago, and it was actually really good. I always knew that people were going there a whole lot, but I never had actually tried it. But, oh, my gosh, their little chicken tenders, oh, so good.
Delicious. Yeah, we heard they just opened one in Hollywood, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm going to be heading over to that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's nice they have breakfast, too. You can get a breakfast, lunch, dinner. Why not?
What? They have breakfast?
Yes, they do. They have little chicken biscuit breakfast.
Oh, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that.
It's vital information, right? Yes, it's needed.
Oh, yes.
And then you have to tell us something we may not know about you.
Something you may not know. Well, I think I already said that I like horror films. Aside from that, I'm actually a gamer. I don't currently play any video games right now because I'm actually now out of the house. I have my own apartment and everything, and so I don't have the big sound system that I had at my parents' house, but I love a good video game on PlayStation 3. It's just amazing.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have never guessed that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because people will be like, "What? You like video games?" That's totally like a guy thing. But I can definitely say, like, secretly, I'm totally such a tomboy. Like I said, I love wearing just jeans, flats. I love wearing like a hat, and literally, I'll go play some video games, like just to kind of like, you know, de-stress, if you will, because it's just so much fun. So I love games.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a favorite that you played?
One that I absolutely love, and of course it goes with the whole horror film thing, I love Resident Evil. I know, so random. And it's just, you know, a very zombie-killing, crazy game, but it's so much fun. I like that, and of course a really good NASCAR game. You know, growing up in Fontana, we had the NASCAR Speedway literally 5 miles away from my house, so I absolutely love NASCAR, and I love any Crash Bandicoot games.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good video game? Absolutely. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, if you can't live it out, you know, the horror films are acted out, why not play it on a video game?
Yeah, pretty much. It works for me. So.
Yep. And then is there anything else you want to tell your fans out there?
Just that, you know, I'm just so excited to, you know, be doing this, and this really has just always been my dream. I've just always wanted to do this, and I'm just so excited and so happy to be getting involved. I just hope that everybody, you know, likes it and really, really enjoys it. And, you know, just as I tell the girls that I mentor, you know, just remember I'm just pretending, you know, but Lulu is a fun character, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it.
Absolutely, and everyone needs to make sure to follow you on Twitter and check out Jane by Design January 3rd.